Good morning, students. This is Ainsha, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, KCS Kasinadar College of Arts and Science. In this video, we are going to see about organizational behavior. Last video, we discussed many topics like characters, functions, definition, meaning of organizational behavior, like that. In this video, we are going to see theories of organization. There are three theories of organization. First one, classical organization theory. Second one, neoclassical organization theory. And third one, modern organization theory. First one, classical organization theory. What do you mean by classical organization theory? What is the need the classical organization theory? The classical theory studied the formal organization. The focus of the theory was to improve the efficiency of the organization. So that is the main purpose of classical organization theory. So in this case, the classical writers viewed organization as a machine and human beings as components of that machine. They were the view that efficiency of the organization can be increased by making human beings efficient. Their emphasis was on specialization and coordination of activities. The author Henry Fayol studied for the first time the principles and functions of management. Since this theory revolves around structure, it is also called structural theory of organization. Students, you already know about 14 principles of organization, which is written by Henry Fayol. The main pillars of organization theory includes division of labor, scalar and functional process, structure, span of control. First one, division of labor. It means the total workload should be divided into small tasks. The specialization of the workforce according to the skill of a person, creating specific personal and professional development within the labor force and therefore increasing productivity. In case of a company, there will be a purchase department, sales department, accounts department, auditing department. This is known as departmentalization. So division of work also known as departmentalization. Division of labor implies that the work must be divided to obtain specialization with a view to improve the performance of the worker. So main reason, division of work. Second point, scalar and functional process. Scalar and functional process means the line of authority must proceed from higher executive to worker at the bottom level. That is known as chain of command. So delegation of authority means transfer of work from higher executive to worker at the bottom level or superior to subordinate, like unity of command and obligation to report. It is called scalar process because it provides a scale or grading of duties according to the degree of authority and responsibility. The principle suggests that there should be a clear line of authority from top to bottom linking all managers at all levels. Next one, structure. This is the issue of commands followed by the responsibility for their consequences, authority and responsibility. So it is the framework of formal relationship among various tasks, activities and people in the organization. The basic structural element in the classical theory is position. Each position is assigned a specific task and authority is delegated for its accomplishment. Authority means right of a superior to give the order to his subordinate, whereas responsibility means obligation for performance. Next one, span of control. The span of control refers to the number of subordinates who can be managed effectively by a superior. Simply, the manager having the group of subordinates who report him directly is called span of control. So the span of control means the number of subordinates a manager can control effectively. Next one, neoclassical organization theory. This theory, otherwise known as behavioral theory. According to the behavioral theory, organizations should adopt a flat structure. It would enable better communication, improved motivation, and quick decision making. The organization should adopt a decentralized structure. So, the classical theory of organization focused main attention on physiological and mechanical variables of organizational functioning. The main characteristics of neoclassical theory are given as follows. The organization in general is a social system composed of numerous interactive parts. Informal organization exists within the formal organization. Teamwork is essential for higher productivity. Motivation is a complex process. A conflict between organization and individual goal often exists. Next one, modern organization theory. The modern theory considers the organization as a system. An organization is an open system which continuously interacts with the environment. It takes inputs from the environment. The inputs are converted to output with the help of resources such as men and machines. The output is supplied to the environment which provides feedback. The modern organization theory is of recent origin, having developed in the early year 1960s. This theory has tried to overcome the drawbacks of earlier theories. Modern classical theory classified into two categories, namely system approach, contingency approach. System approach, this approach studies the organization in its totality. The mutually dependent variables are properly analyzed. Both internal and external variables are studied in analyzing the nature of organization. Then contingency approach. According to the contingency theory, there is no more managerial action or organizational design suitable for all situations. Managerial action and organization design depends on the situation. Therefore, contingency theory is also known as situational theory. So, a structure will be suitable only if it is tailor-made for an enterprise. So, students, I hope you understand theories of organization. Thank you.